behind the gates of a wealthy Brentwood home, a family tragedy that few saw coming, and some now say one person feared all along. New reports claim Hollywood director Romy Reiner's daughter, Romy Reiner, lived in fear of her own brother for years, long before the night her parents were found dead. What insiders are now revealing paints a chilling picture of tension, fear, and warning signs that may have gone unnoticed. According to a source who spoke with the Daily Mail, Romy Reiner's fear of her older brother Nick allegedly began when she was still a child. The insider claims Nick's behavior was unpredictable, marked by sudden outbursts that seemed to come out of nowhere. Even before his struggles with addiction, the source alleges his anger was frightening enough that Romy tried to stay out of his way whenever possible. That fear, the source claims, never fully went away. When Nick moved into the guest house on his parents' property, Romy reportedly believed it was a bad idea. The insider says she didn't even like the thought of Nick living across the street from her, let alone steps away. But Rob and Michelle Reiner allegedly believed keeping Nick close would allow them to monitor him, offer stability, and keep a roof over his head. The source claims Romy wasn't alone in her concerns. Her older brother Jake reportedly shared similar fears, and insiders say the two siblings leaned on each other emotionally. According to the report, Romy confided in Jake when she didn't want to burden their parents. Both reportedly formed a quiet alliance rooted in fear and uncertainty. Now, the insider says both siblings are numb, struggling to process the devastating loss of their parents. It was earlier reported that the family dynamics surrounding the shocking deaths of Rob Reiner and his photographer wife, Michelle Reiner, were unsettling. Reports painted a picture of long simmering tension, heartbreak, and turmoil inside the Reiner household, long before the fatal stabbings that stunned Hollywood. According to a report from Us Weekly, the couple's 32-year-old son Nick allegedly had a hostile and volatile relationship with his siblings and parents for years. A source told the outlet that Nick always had a strained dynamic with the entire family, including his brother Jake and sister Romy. The report cited a source who claimed that Romy had been particularly affected by Nick's behavior over the years. According to the report, she was extremely close to her parents, and watching their ongoing struggle with Nick took a heavy emotional toll on her, leaving her traumatized. But despite everything, sources in latest reports insist Romy never turned her back on her brother. She reportedly referred to Nick as her best friend and tried to help whenever her parents felt overwhelmed. According to the insider, Romy and Jake stepped in repeatedly, attempting to support Nick during his struggles, even as fear lingered beneath the surface. On December 14th, that fear allegedly turned into unimaginable horror. Insiders told the New York Post that Romy was the one who discovered her parents' bodies inside their Brentwood home. According to reports, she immediately told officers that her brother Nick should be considered a person of interest. Authorities later arrested Nick in connection with the killings. Nick Reiner, who reportedly has a history of substance abuse and prior violent incidents, now faces 2 counts of first-degree murder. He is scheduled to be arraigned on January 7th. Police have not released full details of the investigation, and Nick has not entered a plea.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just have a couple of quick words. First of all, and most importantly, this is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. Those need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. We ask that during this process you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves. So with that, we are set for January 7th for an arraignment. That's the next court date. And that's all I have to say at this point. There may be more at some other point, but today we're going to rest on where we stand procedurally, which is this was a continuance of an arraignment. Nothing happened today substantively. We'll be back for an arraignment in the same department on the 7th of January. We'll see you then.
Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty. We have requested, and currently Nick Reiner is being held without bail. So special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead to elevating in some ways a first-degree murder case to a special circumstance first-degree murder case occurs. One of those special circumstances is called multiple murders. Here we have 2, and it qualifies under the definition of multiple murders to allege the special circumstance in this particular case.
He was arrested in a public area, in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers and he was arrested without incident. There were no indications that he was going to resist or anything like that. He didn't flee or anything like that. He was taken into custody without issue, and he was transported to our police headquarters facility.
Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence, the residence of Rob and Michelle Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found 2 deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michelle Reiner. We have our Robbery Homicide Division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail.